Good morning to all of you. So, in the last class, we were discussing about the computer section. So, now we'll continue with another topic, that is quantum technology. Okay. Next topic, write down quantum technology. Mm. Write down quantum technology. Quantum technology. Quantum technology is based on principles of quantum physics. Quantum physics. Okay. Full stop. Quantum physics is a branch of quantum physics is a branch of science is a branch of science which deals with which deals with energy and matter. Energy and matter. 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 Energy and matter at at atomic and subatomic level. Atomic and subatomic level. Atomic and subatomic level. Full stop. So when we talk about the quantum mechanics or quantum physics, so generally we see two different types of physics. One is classical physics, another one is the quantum physics, right? For example, if we try to explain why all the planets revolving around the sun. So for explaining this particular phenomena, we need the principles of classical mechanics. It means Newton's law of motion and gravitation and everything. But when it comes to the same thing, which is happening inside the atom also, electron revolving around the nucleus. For example, planets revolving around the sun. Similarly, electrons revolving around the nucleus. Same thing is happening, but we cannot explain the revolution of electron with the help of principle of classical mechanics. And that is why another branch of physics evolved which explains the behavior of subatomic particle and atomic particle. And on the basis of that, we try to find out about the energy and matter. That is what quantum physics is all about. So when we say quantum physics, it is the study of energy and matter at subatomic and atomic level, you can say. It means, in simple word, it is the study of particles only, whether it is electron, proton. If you want to know the behavior of this particle, and by knowing the behavior of particle, if we are utilizing the characteristics of this particle for technology purpose or quantum computing purpose, so we call it quantum technology or quantum computing. Okay. Now, after completing this, write down principles of principles of quantum technology. Principles of quantum technology. Principles of quantum technology. The first write on quantum superposition. First write on quantum superposition. Quantum superposition. Quantum superposition. Okay. Now I will explain you about little bits of information regarding the qubit here. So qubit is, let me explain you. When we talk about the normal computer, they are based on the bit. Bit is the smallest processing unit of any computer. When we say bit, it means I am talking about binary bit, because computer works on the basis of binary bit. It means one bit is 0, or maybe one bit represent 1. So 0 and 1 I am writing. So two states, otherwise we can say. In simple electricity, if I tell you that simple electricity, if you want to switch on any device, you need to supply the high electric current or voltage. So it means when you switch on, it means 230 volt is you are supplying across the fan terminals. When you switch off the fan, it means zero voltage across the terminal. So it means all the electrical appliances, they will work in two conditions, whether switch on or switch off, right? So switch on, it means high voltage, switch off means zero voltage. Just like that, computer takes it as a 0 and 1. 0 indicates low impulse, low energy impulse, and 1 gives high energy impulse. So normal computer works in two manner, 0, or otherwise there is another one, that is 1. Okay, so here I am representing this thing like this. This state is representing 0, and this state representing the 1. Let me tell you about the qubit. Qubit is nothing but the short name of quantum bit. So when I say bit, it is the smallest processing unit of the normal computer. When we say qubit, means quantum bit, it is the smallest unit of the quantum computer. Remember that, based on the quantum technology. So when we talk about the qubit, what you are going to see, yes, 0 and 1 exist here, but apart from that, one another condition exists here, or another state exists here, that I am drawing like this. You see, this is the combination of this state and this state together, and this we are calling what? Qubit. This we are calling what? Qubit. So means here what I want to explain, the existence of 0 and 1 at the same time is called the qubit, and this we call quantum superposition. Okay, so here I am writing 0 and 1, 0 and 1 existing simultaneously together at the same time. Okay, so 0 and 1 state exists at the same time, so that we call quantum superposition. It is just like when you toss a coin, so the final result may be head or tail, but when coin is in air, it is the possibility of two state, maybe head or maybe tail, 50-50%. So that state, the intermediate state, we are calling what? Qubit here. When the possibility of two state simultaneously at the same time, that we call quantum bit. And this particular qubit gives enormous application in the computing field. Remember that. And that is why right nowadays we are seeing all the different organizations like Google, IBM, they are developing quantum computer, because when we say quantum computer, it is not like supercomputer. It is extraordinary computer which can perform extraordinary calculation and in a given time. And if we give the same calculation to the supercomputer cannot able to calculate even. So that kind of capability I'm talking about here. Okay. So when we say superposition, it means existence of two state or more than one state at the same time, that we call quantum superposition. Okay, so write down about this. Write down definition. It is ability of a quantum particle. It is it is ability of a quantum particle, quantum particle to be in multiple state. It is ability of a quantum particle to be in multiple state states, states, okay, multiple states at the same time, until same time, sorry, at the same time, not until, states at the same time, until it is measured, until it is measured. Okay, now the subatomic particle behavior, if we try to observe, we find strange behavior. And right now scientists, they are trying to find out why electrons and subatomic particles behave in that manner. It is just like, suppose for example, I am giving some hypothetical case here so that you can able to understand what I'm saying. Suppose you are in your house and you are having some kind of feeling of happiness, and now you are dancing like anything, okay, in your room, in a loud music, and suddenly find out that someone is watching you from the window, from the next house, okay, and the time you observe that someone is watching you, you suddenly stop dancing. So just compare this example with the electron. When electron is in the atom and revolving around the nucleus, so they behave in a strange manner. They behave in a specific manner. But when someone try to observe the motion of electron, so this electron, which is having or possessing multiple states at the time, now fixing its behavior or fixing its state. So that is what this line is saying. What ability of a quantum particle to be in multiple states at the same time until it is measured. So if someone is measuring or trying to observe the behavior of qubit, then these two states will vanish. They will not exist at the same time. If someone is going to observe, if anyone is not observing, then multiple state at the same time. Someone is observing the particular behavior, then automatically it's fixed its state. And this is kind of a strange behavior. Okay, and scientists still trying to find out these kind of behavior, why particles behaving like this. Right now we need to know a lot of things about the atom and subatomic particles. Yes, we know about the subatomic particle, but still we are trying to search about the behavior of the particle, why they show the strange behavior. So that is what we call quantum superposition. Again, I am concluding here. This is the qubit, or otherwise you can say a quantum particle, which exists multiple state or two state, you can say, simultaneously at the same time until it is measured. That is what we call the quantum superposition. And draw this one. Draw this diagram. Here, write down classical computer. Okay, classical computer, and then here write down quantum computer. This one representing the quantum computer. So this side is representing the classical computer, and this side representing the quantum computer. Okay, and this we are calling what? This we are calling superposition state. If they will ask the principle, you need to draw the diagram as well. Okay, you need to represent this. Remember that, and they will ask the question like this. Okay, remember that. What do you mean by the quantum technology? Write down its principle, and also write down the application of quantum computing. That is how they will design the question. Okay. After this, now we'll discuss uh second we'll discuss the second principle, that is the quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement. Entanglement. Quantum entanglement. Entanglement. Quantum entanglement. Now, this is also one of the very, very interesting principle of quantum technology or quantum physics, you can say, entanglement. And this particular principle, actually, due to this principle, you will find the possibility of teleportation of the information, not the human. Okay. So let's discuss about this. Here, if suppose I'm saying this is qubit 1 and this is qubit 2, try to understand this. And they are linked somehow. Means we have created one pair of qubit. Let's say this is qubit 1, and here qubit 2. We have created one pair of qubit in such a manner that they are linked with each other. They are somehow linked with each other. Okay. Now, whenever I will say qubit, just one thing need to come in the mind, that 0 and 1 together at the same time. When I say qubit, you need to recall this information 0, 1, and 1 at the same time. So it means this one is showing the two behavior at the same time, two state, and this is also showing the two state at the same time, 0 and 1. Now, let's say due to any circumstances, this qubit is fixing its state, Okay. Now, what will happen to this one? Because this one is linked with the quantum bit 2. The time when qubit 2 will fix its state, at the same time, the quantum bit 1 will also fix its state. How? Because they are communicating somehow, irrespective of the distance, I am saying. It means what I'm saying, that these two qubits, they are linked in such a manner, and suppose we are placing these two particles very far from each other. Let's say one qubit we are keeping here on the surface of, and one qubit we send it to the moon surface, let's say, with the help of satellite. Okay. Now, if suppose due to any conditions on the moon surface, this qubit is fixing its state. Now, what you're going to see on the surface of Earth, this qubit is also fixing its state. So, this communication, due to some kind of relationship, we called what? Quantum entanglement. What is the meaning of that? When quantum bit lost its individual capability and it depends on other for its behavior, then we call quantum entanglement. What? This one got the Nobel Prize. This one got the Nobel Prize. And this actually principle leads to the, teleportation. Ever heard about teleportation? Teleportation of information, not human. Okay. Information. I'm giving simple explanation for that. A story. Again, story need to be told here. So let's say this is qubit 1 and qubit 2. They are in such some kind of relationship with each other. Okay. Now, the last night they were involved in some kind of fight, let's say, in phone. Okay. They don't live together. Okay. The location is very far, let's say, long distance relationship. Okay. Now, they involved in the fight last night. Now what is happening? Now today morning, one tried to call to another. Now the call connected. Now no one is saying anything. And both are like, if the Q1, QB1 is thinking in that manner that if QB2 will behave in a certain manner, according to her behavior, I will behave. Suppose if she will respond politely, I will also respond politely. If she will still try to argue with me, again I will try to argue with her. It means the behavior of and the same the QB2 also is thinking in the same way. So the way QB1 is going to behave, according to that, I will also behave. So it means what you are observing in this relationship, the behavior of one person is depending on the behavior of another one. So when any two quantum bit, they are linked with each other and they lost their individual identity and the behavior and the state depends on each other, then we call it quantum entanglement. This relationship is called what? Quantum entanglement. Got it? So it means dependency on each other for fixing their behavior. That is in simple word. That we call the quantum entanglement. Write down about this in the word format. Write down two particles become linked so that two particles become linked so that their states are dependent so that their their states are dependent on each other. States are dependent on each other. Dependent on each other. Full stop. Continue the line. Changes to one particle, apostrophe as then particles. Changes to one particles. In particle, write an apostrophe as, okay. Particles. Changes to one particle's state. Particle's state will immediately affect the other particle. Immediately affect the other particle, apostrophe as then other particles state. Particles apostrophe as, okay. Other particles state, even if they are far apart. Even if they are far apart. Far apart. Full stop. Okay. So this we call what? Quantum entanglement. Write down this diagram also. Next, third principle, write down. Third principle, quantum interference. Quantum interference. Quantum interference. Write down. Write down what this. Particles can be in more than one place at once. Particles can be in more than one place at once. Particles can be in more than one place at once, comma, and they can cross their own. And they can cross their THEIR, their own trajectory to interfere with their path. To interfere with their path. Interfere with their path. It is nothing but the extension of quantum entanglement only. So like these two particles, they are very far from each other. Now, how can one particle can be in other places at the same time? With the help of quantum entanglement only, remember that. If suppose one particle is fixing its behavior according to that, this particle is fixing that behavior at the same time. So now this is replicating the behavior of this one, remember that. And that is how one particle can be in multiple places. So this multiple places behavior, that we call what? Interference. So this is the extension of the entanglement only, remember that, okay? Now, the relationship is called quantum entanglement, dependency on each other. And due to the dependency, if one particle can exist in multiple locations at once at the same time, this possibility is called what? Quantum interference. Now, after this, I on the fourth one, last one, coherence, quantum coherence. Coherence. Quantum coherence, write down, fourth one. Quantum coherence, okay? Now, write down about this. Ability of a quantum system. The ability of a quantum system to maintain a well-defined phase, to maintain a well-defined phase relationship, phase relationship between different states, between different states. Full stop. Write down. In other words, it is the ability of ability of quantum system system to sustain superposition and entanglement entanglement. Now let's say in the laboratory we have achieved these two principles, okay, by creating one pair of quantum bit. But for how, but for if we talk about the duration to maintain these two states is very limited. So if suppose the quantum system able to maintain these two position, two principle or state, then we call it quantum coherence, because this state we can achieve, but we can't able to sustain actually, because there are lots of challenges to maintain this particular principle. And that is why we are saying if they can able to maintain this state, we are calling it what? Coherence. Remember that. For example, if suppose I am creating this qubit, maybe for 3 minutes, maybe for 4 minutes, I can sustain that, not more than that. Because the behavior of these particles changes with respect to temperature and conditions also, remember that. And that is why when we talk about the quantum computer, extremely low temperature is required to maintain this condition. We can't get the performance in normal temperature. That is one of the most important challenge right now we are having in terms of the quantum computer. Quantum computer requires very low temperature for its working. But when we talk about the normal computer is working in front of you in the room temperature right now. Normal computer, this board is working in normal temperature, right? It doesn't require extremely low temperature for its functioning. But if suppose I will place the quantum computer here and I want to, I want to give some calculation or computation to that quantum computer, I need to maintain extremely low temperature here. So that is the difficulty, that is the challenge. It can't be maintained for the longer duration of time. So it is ability to maintain its state for longer duration of time that we call what? Quantum coherence. Remember that, okay? So these are the principles. And right now, all quantum computer, they are basically based on these principles only. Recently, Google made one most advanced quantum chip, quantum IC, that is nilo. IBM also made one of the quantum computer, and it's IC. Initially, they were making the computer. Now they have a small, very, very small IC, that is we call quantum chip, which is actually based on these principles. And there is one term called quantum supremacy. What is the meaning of that? Quantum supremacy is the ability of a quantum computer which can compute the number of computations or number of operations in a given time. The normal computer even cannot even perform it, cannot even execute in that given time. That we call quantum supremacy. Ability of the number of computation the quantum computer can perform in given time, and no normal computer, even supercomputer, can perform it. That we call what? Quantum supremacy. And Google, IBM, they have achieved the quantum supremacy in the past years. Okay. So write down, after completing this, about the qubit. Write down qubit. Separately write down about the qubit. Write down while write down while regular 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 computer, or otherwise we call it classical computer. Okay, regular computer, in bracket you can write, instead of computer, chip, CHIPS, chips. Okay, bracket close. Use use bits, BITS, bits. Whenever I will say bits, remember that in bracket you have to write 0, 1, but not 0 and 1. If you will write 0 and 1, it will become qubit. So then what you have to write? 0 or 1, because of 0 is different and 1 is different. And if they are existing at the same time, then we'll write 0 and 1, and they will call qubit. Remember that. So here you have to write 0 or 1. At the same time, only one information, 0 or maybe 1. Okay, that we call bit. Right now, after the continue the line, bracket close, 0 or 1, bracket close. Process information. To process information, to process information from a quantum computer, quantum computer, in bracket chips, CHIPS, use qubits, qubits, in bracket 0 and 1. And please, in the heading, please write down quantum bit also. Okay, full form also. Sometime in the prelims question, they ask this question. Okay, what is the smallest processing unit of the quantum computer? They will give maybe quantum bit or maybe qubit. In the prelims also, they can ask this question. Remember that. Okay. Now, after that, write down the qubit is a state. A qubit is a state in which 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 and 1 exist at the same time, at the same time, at the same time. Okay, full stop. But what will happen in the normal computer? Or classical computer or classical bit? Classical bit can only exist either 0 or 1 at the same time. Okay, remember that. But at the same time, both possibilities are not there. So that is the difference between the classical computer and the quantum computer. Okay, remember that. Now, after this, write down application of quantum technology. Application of quantum technology. Okay. Now, remember, the first and very, very important application is the communication. Okay, so write down quantum communication is the first one. Quantum communication. Quantum communication. Write down. It includes, in front of that, write down. It includes quantum key distribution. Quantum key distribution. KEY distribution. In bracket capital में, in capital QKD. Write down. Quantum key distribution. Okay, QKD. In short, we call it. Bracket close. Write down. Is a secure communication method. Is a, continue the line. QKD is a secure communication method. Secure communication method. Secure communication method for exchanging exchanging encryption keys. Encryption. ENCRYPTION. Encryption keys. KEYS. Keys only known between paired particles. Only known between paired particles. Read the statement, what it is saying. So basically, when we say quantum communication, it is based on one method called quantum key distribution. So what is quantum key distribution? It is a method in which what exactly happens? The sharing of information in encrypted keys or encrypted code. It is just like if suppose two of you are communicating with each other with certain code, okay, and no one able to know that code because both of you made that code by yourself, and now whenever you go in the public, you try to communicate by using those codes so that no one can understand what we are talking about. So this we call encoding and decoding, but in computer and advanced terminology we call it encryption and decryption. Whenever two users they communicate with each other with using encryption keys or encryption code, so only those two users can able to identify those code. No other user can find, remember that, what they are talking about or what they are sharing about. This we call quantum key distribution. This is one of the most secure way to communicate. Sometimes you see when you try to make video call in WhatsApp, this in WhatsApp you see this call is encrypted, end-to-end encrypted. It means in between no one can trace your information, no one can read your information. It provides enhanced security. Okay, so that is what you are observing here. Second, write down. Second application, simulations. Simulations. Second application is simulations. Simulations. Okay, write down in this. In healthcare and well-being. In healthcare and well-being. Well-being. Advancing medical imaging. Advancing medical imaging. Medical imaging. Imaging. Okay, EMAGING. Imaging and diagnosis. And diagnosis. And diagnosis. And in quantum chemistry. In quantum chemistry. And in quantum chemistry. For developing new vaccines and drugs. For developing new vaccines and drugs. New vaccines and drugs. It means that, suppose as a scientist, I am trying to develop a vaccine for cancer, let's say, or maybe any HIV kind of disease, okay, life-threatening disease. Now, to give final approval to that vaccine, first it need to undergo in a trial, right? First, they will try this vaccine in the animal body, and then they will try in the human body by taking some samples, right? So it may be dangerous. Remember that. If suppose that vaccine will fail, it can harm those animals and also those humans. So before doing actual trial in field, first we can simulate the same thing in the quantum computer. We can make a prototype animal, a simulation based animal and simulation based human inside the quantum computer by giving the DNA information of that particular human and body structure of that human, all the physiological information. And then we'll simulate the body and then we'll try to basically give the DNA of that particular vaccine, will insert into the body of human or animal within the simulation itself. And then we'll try to get the result by that simulation. So if in the simulation we'll get successful result, okay, then we'll try to implement those results, not result directly. We'll try to do some experiment, it means testing trial in real animal or real human. So before you know uh, implementing the actual vaccine in the ground, first we can do what? Simulations in the quantum computer. That is what the simulation is all about. Okay, now write down sensing and metrology. Third application, sensing, SENSING, sensing and metrology. Sensing and metrology. Write down quantum technology. Quantum technology can be used for measurements of force, measurements of forces of gravitation, measurement of forces of gravitation, comma electric fields, and cosmic radiations, and cosmic radiations. So if suppose any comet is passing just nearby the Earth in our solar system, and we want to check the impact of that comet on the surface of Earth, what kind of impact that comet is giving. So for sensing this and trying to identify what kind of wave is coming from that comet, we can able to sense it with the help of quantum computing or quantum technology. That is what the application. Next, write on quantum artificial intelligence. Next application, quantum artificial intelligence. Quantum artificial intelligence. Write down in that it enables advanced AI models. It enables advanced AI models. Advanced AI models by accessing ACCESSING, accessing training data, accessing training data beyond classical computer capabilities. By accessing training data beyond classical computer capabilities. Okay. Now write on last one, material and devices. Last application, material and devices. In that write down design and synthesis of quantum chips. Design and synthesis of quantum chips. CHIPS. Example write down. Just continue the line. Example. Google Opistrophies. Google's quantum chip. Google's quantum chip Willow. WILLOW. This is the part of current affair they can ask in the prelims examination. Okay, remember that. They will ask what is the name of quantum chip developed by Google recently. Answer will be Willow. WILLOW. Okay, so mark it this important. So that is all about the Application of quantum technology. Write down challenges. Challenges write down. After this, challenges write down. Challenges, okay? Challenges specifically in terms of India, I'm talking about, because whenever they will ask challenges, they will ask challenges of challenge in the development of the quantum computer in India. Like that, they will design the question, okay? So write down first, lack of regulation. First, write down lack of regulation. Lack of regulations. Write down regulations. In front of that, write down no clear standards for hardware. No clear standards for hardware, software, and communication. Hardware, software, and communication. Okay. Second, write down high infrastructure cost. Second, high infrastructure cost. High infrastructure cost. Okay. Next, write down third one. Scalability issues. Scalability issues. Scalability. SCALABILITY. Scalability issues. Right on in front of that. It is difficult to scale quantum systems. It is difficult to scale quantum systems while maintaining coherence. While maintaining coherence. Coherence and low error. And low error. Now, fourth, write down extreme cooling needs. Fourth, extreme cooling needs. Cooling, COOLING. Extreme cooling needs, NEEDS. Okay. Right on in front of that, qubits require near absolute zero temperatures. Qubits require qubits require near absolute zero temperature. Near absolute zero temperature. Okay. Next, I down low research and development spending. Low research and development spending. Write down only approximately 0.64%. Approximately 0.64%. 64% of GDP spent in this field. Okay. Next, write down. This one is completed. Now write down uh, initiatives. Initiatives write down. And the first initiative write down National Quantum Mission. National Quantum Mission. National Quantum Mission. Write down about this. So write down it was approved by Union Cabinet. It was approved by Union Cabinet on 19th April 2023. On 19th April 19. Okay, 19th April 2023 at a total cost of at a total cost of rupee 6,003.25. not 2565, okay, 65.65 crore. From 2023-24, from 2023-24 to 2030-31. So this is the timeline, and this is the fund for that, okay? And this mission, the whole fund for the whole years. Remember that, okay? Now, write on its aim, its aim to create a vibrant and innovative ecosystem, aims to create a vibrant and innovative ecosystem in quantum technology, in quantum technology, in quantum technology, okay? So remember this one. Now, after that, write down second initiative. Second initiative, write down quantum enabled science and technology. Quantum enabled science and technology. Quantum enabled science and technology. In bracket, write down QUEST. U in small, okay? Quest. In front of that, write down a research program to build quantum capabilities. A research program, in front of that, write down a research program to build quantum capabilities. Quantum capabilities, okay? Next initiative, write down quantum computing application lab. Quantum computing application lab. Quantum computing application lab. In short, in bracket QCAL. QCAL. Quantum computing application lab. In front of that, I know to accelerate quantum computing led research. To accelerate quantum computing led 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 research. LED, okay, quantum computer led research. Write down other initiatives. Next, write down other initiatives. Below that, write down other initiatives. In front of that, write down mission on quantum technologies. In front of that, write down mission on quantum technologies and applications. Mission, national mission on quantum technologies and application. That is the national mission, okay? National mission on quantum technologies and application. NMQTA, we call it. NMQTA. QTA. NMQTA. Okay, National Mission on Quantum Technologies and Application, comma, Quantum Computer Simulator Toolkit. Continue the line. Quantum Computer Simulator Toolkit. Quantum Computer Simulator Toolkit, comma, Quantum Frontier Mission. Quantum Frontier, FRONTIER, Frontier. Quantum Frontier Mission. Okay. If they will ask suggestion in examination, because sometimes they ask, because in latest development of the technology, they will ask, give your suggestions to improve the research and development in the field of quantum technology in India. So what do you suggest after knowing all these things? Some points? Anyone? Remember, whenever in examination, if they will ask, give suggestions, first look at the challenges. You need to give suggestions which can overcome the challenges. Simple. See the challenges and with the help of challenges, try to frame the suggestions because they can ask the suggestion in the examination. I am giving some set of suggestions to write down in that. Otherwise, we also call it way forward. Way forward, or otherwise we call it suggestions they will ask in the examination. Okay. So write down way forward. So one problem was fund, right? Funding was one problem. Approximately, in India, 0.64% of GDP only government is giving fund to the quantum technology field. And it requires a lot of fund, remember that. China and USA, they are spending a lot of money, but we are not. So government is having limited fund, yes, but we can promote the, private investment, private participation. So that is the suggestion. First suggestion, write down. Encourage private investment. Encourage private investment. What was another problem? Infrastructure, right? So write down second. Develop regional infrastructure. Develop regional infrastructure across India for wider participation. Regional infrastructure across India for wider participation. One another challenge was their regulations, lack of regulations, right? So now here write down, by creating regulatory body, by creating regulatory body, regulatory body for governing quantum technology, for governing quantum technology. Okay. So these three I am giving you as example. Similarly, you can read another challenges and based on that you can give your own suggestions. Okay. Suggestion should not be the copy paste from the class note. It should be your own. Remember that always. Okay. You need to be creative while answer writing. Otherwise, if you will copy paste just like suppose all of you writing the mains from here, this batch, and if you write the same content there, they will give you average marking definitely. And if the examiner, the checker, if he or she will find that someone is someone is giving another kind of content, okay, some different content, but good content, so that person will achieve little bit extra marks as compared to the average student, remember. So you need to be creative, specifically while giving the introduction of the question and also the conclusion remark of the question or suggestions of the question. Okay, so that is all about this. I'm giving you homework. Tomorrow I will check randomly the conclusion of this whole discussion. Okay, because if you know they are asking now, the pattern is 12.5 marks and 200 words, right? You have to prepare. If they are asking only this kind of question, 200 words, then you have to write what the whole uh, introduction point, then main body, then uh, after that suggestions if you want to give initiatives, and the last conclusion also, at least 3 to 4 lines. So this is homework for you. Read all this thing and try to write at least 4 statements in conclusion of out of this, and that 4 statement should reflect all the things. Summary I'm asking. Okay, remember that. So I will check tomorrow. Okay. Now write on next topic. Next topic, write on artificial intelligence and robotics. Artificial intelligence and robotics. Together we'll discuss this topic. First, I will discuss about the artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence. So under this chapter, write on first heading artificial intelligence. Write on first heading artificial intelligence. So can you define artificial intelligence? Anyone? Anyone who can define the artificial intelligence? Because you are living in the era of artificial intelligence right now. Advanced artificial intelligence is going on. The generative AI you are seeing right now. Okay. So tell me how you will define the artificial intelligence. Then we'll talk about the other thing. Try to decode the term artificial intelligence. In simple word, we are designing such kind of system or machine, right? And these machines, we are imparting them intelligence artificially by writing certain code, algorithm, programs, advanced programs. That kind of intelligence we are calling what? Artificial intelligence. We are having what kind of intelligence? Natural intelligence, right? At the same time, with using our own natural intelligence, if human tries to impart same kind of intelligence to the machine by designing certain advanced code or algorithm or program, you can say, so that machine can perform human like task. Okay, that we call artificial intelligence. Write down definition. Write down. It refers to the development of machines or systems. It refers to the development of machines or systems, to the development of machines, to the development of machines or systems. Now write down a little bit fast, okay? Machines or systems that can perform tasks, 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 write down, okay? Tasks that typically require human intelligence, that typically require human intelligence, typically require human intelligence. Write down, next line. Write down, next line. It is a branch of, it is a branch of computer science in which by developing by developing advanced algorithms advanced algorithms by developing advanced algorithms for imparting 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 intelligence to the machine intelligence to the machine intelligence to the machine artificially artificially intelligence to the machine artificially. Now write on history of AI. They can ask historical development, okay? History of AI, write on. Some important timeline you need to remember. First, write down 1940s and 50s and write on early concept. Early concept. Under that, you have to write only one thing. Write down Turing test. Turing test. Turing. Turing test by Turing. Turing. Okay. Turing test by Alan Turing. Alan Turing. Turing test by Alan Turing for 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 measuring machines behavior machines behavior. Okay, in bracket intelligence, in bracket intelligence. So remember Alan Turing, he was designed, he was developed one test called Turing test, and now with the help of this test, Alan wanted to know the behavior of machines, how they are behaving when we give them certain tasks, certain command. That is all about the Turing test. It is just like this. If suppose in one room, one human is there, okay, and another room, one computer system is there, okay, and one psychiatrist, let's say, that psychiatrist is trying to ask the same question to both the one is the human and one is the computer, and now these two they are responding to the psychiatrist. Now psychiatrist trying to read the behavior and the response. If suppose this computer giving the response and this human is also giving the response, and this person is not knowing in which room the computer is and in which room person is, okay, and if psychiatrist cannot able to identify that which response is from the computer and which response is from the uh, machine or human, so in that case they say that the machine passed the intelligence test because machine is giving just like response just like the human, and the person cannot able to distinguish the response between the human and computer. That we call the Turing test. So he designed the test for developing the for measuring the the behavior of the machine. Now next side on 1956. 1956 very very important for prelims as well. Remember that, okay? Because from here you will able to know the conference where actually the artificial intelligence term was used, and you will know the father of artificial intelligence here, okay? So write on Dartmouth conference. Dartmouth conference. Dartmouth conference. DARTMOUTH. Dartmouth conference. Write down in this below this, write down the term AI was coined at the term AI, it means artificial intelligence. The term AI was coined at the Dartmouth conference in 1956. Coined at the Dartmouth conference in 1956. And who coined the term? Who? John McCarthy, yes. So write down John McCarthy, JOHN, McCarthy, MC, then C, then again C in capitals, okay? ARTHY, McCarthy. MCCARTHY. The name is like this. John McCarthy. Write down. John McCarthy coined this term. John McCarthy coined this term, which is also called, or you can continue the coined the term, and also known as father of AI. Coined the term AI and also called father of AI. In short, you can write that, okay? Now, after this, write down 1960. 1960, symbolic AI. Symbolic AI. 60s, okay? Then 70s. Symbolic AI, if you want to write a point in that, you can just write general problem solvers. What kind of AI is this? General problem solver kind of AI, okay? Now, in 1970s, write down knowledge representation and expert system. Knowledge representation and expert system. Knowledge representation and expert system. Expert system. Okay. So it means in the next decade, what you will see that some kind of advanced program now scientists they were developing in 1970s, and though with the help of those program, now machine having the decision making capability. That is what about the knowledge representation and the, so if you can take the decision in any matter, it means you are having knowledge of that matter, right? Then only you can take decision. If you are not having the knowledge of anything, and then you cannot take the decision, remember that. So knowledge is required for the decision making. So when we say knowledge representation, it means the capability of decision making. Okay, that is what the meaning here. Now write on 1980s. After that, 1980s is very very important. Write down rise of neural network. Neural network. Rise of neural network. Write down. Okay, and this time period is called AI winter. This time period is called AI winter. Okay. So neural network is related to the deep learning. Okay, remember that. We'll talk about that later on. Write down 1990s after that. 1990s. Write down rise of machine learning. Rise of machine learning. I'm writing in short ML. Okay, machine learning. Then 90, not 1990s, 2000. Yes. Okay, rise of deep learning. Deep learning. Rise of deep learning. Okay, rise of deep learning, and also write down and big data. Big data. Rise of deep learning and big data. Okay, 2010s next. 2010s. Just write down practical application. Practical applications of AI. Practical applications of AI. Practical applications of AI. Now, this decade we are living in right now, 2020 is 2020 is current situation. Okay, so write down continued advancements, continued advancements, continued advancements, and ethical concerns, and ethical concerns, ethical concerns. So a lot of ethical concerns you see now nowadays. Deep fake is one of the concern, right? Manipulation of audio, video, and images in such a way it seems realistic with the help of generative artificial intelligence. So that is what the deep fake is all about. We'll talk about that later on. Okay. So now let's talk about the concept part. Then we'll try to understand the applications. So this concept is important to understand. Maybe they can ask the technical information in the question. So that is why I'm giving you all this explanation, like neural network, deep learning, machine learning, and everything. Okay. So this one, let's say this whole is representing the AI. So under this, you will see another subset of AI is called machine learning. Okay. Then another subset you will see that I'm calling deep learning. But deep learning you can't design without the artificial neural network. So here I am just representing one more section, and this is nothing but the ANN I'm writing. ANN, artificial neural network. This four terminology you need to understand. Why? Why you need to understand? Because of the prelims examination. If they will ask question from the chatbot, the difference between chatbot and generative artificial intelligence. If they will ask chat GPT is the example of generative AI or chatbot. So for knowing that information, you need to know about these things. If they will ask that Google Assistants, Alexa or Siri, these are the example of what? Generative AI or basically your chatbot. So for knowing all these information, the information of these terminologies is required. So you know the definition of AI already I have given to you, right? Now we need to understand the machine learning, ANN and DL. It means deep learning and ANN, artificial neural network. So you need to draw this, okay? But don't draw this side diagram. This is for the explanation, okay? Let's say this is human. I am representing human brain here. Then we'll try to compare this with the machine brain. How machine is doing this thing, okay? So let's talk about this. Don't draw this one, okay? So here I am saying machine is having artificial intelligence, human is having what kind of intelligence? Natural intelligence. Okay. When machine try to learn, we are calling it machine learning. When human try to learn, we are calling it what? Let's say it is a hypothetical terminology for giving you the explanation. Don't write that. If you will write in the copy, maybe you will write in the examination. Okay. So no such kind of concept is there. Okay. Just for explanation, simplifying the things. Only you have to draw this. I will tell you the definition of all this. Okay. Now next, this is the natural neural network. Let's say we are having group of neurons, network of millions of neurons we are having inside the brain, natural neural network. And on the basis of that, human can learn anything deeply. Deep learning. Now I am giving you one story. Starting from a childhood. Let's say one child is there. Okay. Now the child is now learning about the things, right? From the surroundings, from the friends, from mother and father, from siblings, everyone. He's trying to observe the things and try to learn about the things, right? So when any human try to observe the thing for the first time, and try to learn about the particular conditions and particular things, then simply we call it what? Human learning. So when we try to learn anything for the first time, it's surface learning. What is the meaning of surface learning? Because in this particular time, your surface, your cerebrum, I'm talking about cerebrum is the learning center of your brain. The surface portion of the cerebrum, the upper portion of cerebrum actually involves more and more there. But when you try to focus more and more and try to go into the deeper knowledge of that particular thing or subject, so for that, you need a deep point, an intelligence center you will require. And that intelligence center inside your brain is actually developed with the help of deep neural network. You are having the different points inside your brain, deep neural network. And these, on the basis of deep neural network, you can able to store a lot of information, a lot of information. And on the basis of those big information, large chunk of information, you try to learn about the same thing in a very deeply manner. Remember, for example, for the first time when you saw the apple, now for the first time you only observe the shape and color, right? Then slowly and gradually you expose to apple frequent basis, in a frequent basis. Now the one day you eat the apple and then you try to smell it, you try to taste it. Now another information you are accumulating. So first the visual information, shape, color, then smell, then taste. So it means you are continuously collecting the information. And when you are collecting the information and storing it, it requires one thing, neural network, deep neural network, to store those kind of information. And when you store a lot of information, then these need deep neural network then analyze the data. And on the basis of data, then you learn something deeply about that thing. And that is what you do in your school days also. When the first time you went to the school, you are learning the basic letters, then words, then sentences, then subjects, the basic concept. And then when you went to the high school, it will be advanced concept. Then in higher secondary, more advanced concept, then college, and then postgraduate. So the same thing you are doing, learning, but at the same time you are accumulating information, then accumulating information, a lot of information. Initially, you are reading only a small book, but when you went to the college, this size book, it means accumulating a lot of information. So your deep neural network then try to analyze those huge data, and then your brain try to learn something deeply about the topic. That we call deep learning. Now we'll try to compare the same situation with the machine. Now we have given the same behavior, the same pattern of thinking, the decision making to the machine. And now we got the different terminologies here for the machine. When we imparted the intelligence to the machine, artificial intelligence. Now, machine is trying to use that intelligence for learning anything. We are calling what? Machine learning. Then we have provided one mathematical model by some programming. And that computational or mathematical model, we are calling it artificial neural network. Don't think that artificial neural network is like brain. We are not providing the neural network. We are providing the same capability our brain can do, the same capability with the help of program, mathematical model. Mathematical model for what? So that this mathematical model can analyze huge set of data. So now with the help of artificial neural network, machine can analyze huge amount of data. On the basis of huge amount of data, now machine can learn something deep. And on the basis of deep learning, now, if suppose you went to the college, you have done your postgraduate, and then you also completed your PhDs, postdoc, or etc. So after PhD, now you join the bark, let's say ISRO, let's say HL, and now you are try to create something new, completely new technology from your previous knowledge. It means when machine try to analyze the huge set of data from ANN and try to learn from those data deeply, then these machines, they are capable of creating something new for you. And that we call generative artificial intelligence. So from here, if machine is using machine learning capability, this particular machine can only reply your queries, just like Alexa, Google Assistants. Only they can help you in certain tasks. But when the machines, they are having ANN and DL capability, it means they can create something new for you. ChatGPT is the example for that. Copilot is the example for that. Okay. So Gemini is the example of that. So this is the difference between generative AI and chatbot. Chatbot, like virtual assistant, having the capability of only machine learning. But when we say generative artificial intelligence, the time when I'm saying generative, it means generating new content. And machine cannot create new content without deep learning and huge set of data. For that, it requires what capability? ANN and DL, deep learning. So that is what the all concept regarding this. They can ask the question about this topic also. And they can also ask the question from the example of chatbot and chat GPT, sorry, generative AI in the prelims examination also. Okay, because in your so B examination, that kind of question they have asked once. So maybe they can ask in the prelims. Till now, they haven't asked the question like this in the prelims examination. But just remember that current affair is the part of your syllabus, prelims part. So from the current affair, they can ask the question from this topic. Remember that from the examples. Okay, so write down. Write down definition of machine learning now. Because AI definition I already told you, right? Machine learning, write down. And also here you can write only one line. Machine learning subset of, so that you can revise it properly when you see the diagram. Subset of AI, just write down. ANN, write down. Computational model. Computational model, just write down. Okay. And DL, write down. Deep learning. Deep learning is what? It is subset of machine learning. Okay. So this is a simple information you have to remember. Then we'll write so that you can know the keywords. Okay, computational model, sometimes we also call it statistical model. Okay, statistical model or computational model, same thing. Write down definition of machine learning. Write down ML is a subset of AI that focuses. ML is subset of machine learning is a subset of AI that focuses on developing algorithms that enable that enable machines to learn machines to learn patterns patterns and patterns patterns. Okay, patterns, and make decisions and make decisions based on data based on data full stop. Write down deep learning next. In the last we'll talk about the neural network. Deep learning, write down DL is specialized. DL, deep learning, is a specialized subset of machine learning. Specialized subset of machine learning that involves neural networks. Machine learning, specialized subset of machine learning that involves neural networks with multiple layers. Multiple layers. Okay, right on next line. With the help of deep learning, can analyze. With the help of deep learning, machine machine can able to analyze huge set of data, huge set of data, huge set of data, and can learn patterns of this data, patterns of the data deeply. Now write on artificial neural network. Next, write down artificial neural network. Okay. Now write down in this ANN or artificial neural network is a computational model is a computational model inspired by computational model inspired by inspired by the structure and functioning of the inspired by the structure and functioning of the human brain human brain designed to recognize patterns designed to recognize patterns. One more point, write down. It is a fundamental component of deep learning. It is a fundamental component of deep learning. It is a fundamental component of deep learning. Next heading, write down chatbot. Chatbot, write down. And write down definition of chatbot. Chatbot, write down, and write down definition. Write down. A chatbot is a computer program. A chatbot is a computer program designed to simulate conversation, designed to simulate conversation, designed to simulate conversation with human users, conversation with human users, conversation with human users, using natural language processing, natural language processing, in short NLP we call it, okay? Natural language processing and machine learning techniques, and machine learning techniques, machine learning techniques to understand and respond to user queries, to understand and respond to user queries, to user queries. Okay. So out of this whole definition, this chhawh is the important keyword for the definition of chatbot. Remember that. So I'm simplifying this. When we say chatbot, so it is kind of programming which uses what? Natural language processing and machine learning. Natural language processing and machine learning. So by that, now the machine can communicate with the human. Communicate with the human. Now, what is the meaning of natural language processing? If you try to ask a virtual assistant anything in your language, so that machine should capable of understanding your language. Suppose if you are asking in Mizo language, let's say to the Siri or Google Assistant or any Alexa, anything, you are giving command in Mizo language. If that machine is not capable of, you know, understanding the language of your language and also cannot able to respond it, then what is the use of that, right? So it means chatbot, they are having one technique, one method, one capability that we are calling the natural language processing. So natural language processing, initially only one language was there, that is English. But nowadays, all the virtual assistant, they can process the multiple language. So nowadays we are using the term multiple language processing instead of natural, okay? But the theoretical definition, I will only say the natural language processing. But now in the real world scenario, if you go, you will find it is not the natural language processing anymore. It become the multiple language processing. Now you can give command in Hindi, English, any regional language in India, right? Because now these chatbots, they are capable of having multiple language processing. How we provided this capability? With the help of advanced algorithm, obviously, right? Now after that, the machine learning part, I told you about the machine learning. Machine learning is the capability of machine we provided with the help of algorithm. Now with the help of machine learning, whatever question you are asking, whatever queries you are giving to the chatbot, now these machines, they will analyze your data of the question, and on the basis of that, whatever information they are having, all the data, training data, from those data, now they will try to analyze, they will make a pattern of data, they will try to connect the dot, and on the basis of that, they will respond you. So that is what we call what? Chatbot. So chatbot is only for conversation and responding your queries, helping you in certain way, right? So that we are calling what? So all kind of virtual assistant, they are example of what? Chatbot. So write down example. An example is important for prelims examination as well. Remember that if they will design the question from the current, okay. Right now, virtual assistants like Siri, SIRI, comma Google Assistant, and Alexa are the example of chatbots. Are the example of chatbots. Okay. Similarly, if you now you have the railway network here in the Mizoram. So this one, Ask Disha. This is virtual assistant of IRCTC. Like you see nowadays, multiple web portal, they are also having the this kind of chatbot. They help you in giving the information and responding your queries. So Ask Disha is the chatbot of what? IRCTC. Alexa is from Amazon, right? Google Assistant from the Google. Siri is from the Apple. Okay. So these are the chatbot. Now I will tell you some advanced information after this. Right on another heading, generative artificial intelligence. Right on next heading, generative artificial intelligence. Generative artificial intelligence. Okay. So when we talk about generative, first let me tell you, let me explain you each and everything. Then I will dictate you about the definition part. So when we say generative artificial, so the first line I will tell you that this is one of the advanced kind of algorithms and which utilizes what? Which utilizes large language model. Another terminology here I am explaining you. Large language model. Large language model. So large language model and then also utilizes what? Deep learning. And you know already I have explained you that deep learning capability, if machine is having, they can't have without the what? Neural, deep neural network or artificial neural network. It means when we are saying generative artificial intelligence, these are advanced kind of algorithms which uses the large language model capabilities, and on the basis of artificial neural network, they are having the capability of deep learning, and they utilize these techniques to analyze huge set of data. We call it big data. And with the help of those big data, they try to make patterns. And after making the patterns, when you try to give some command to these generative artificial intelligence, like create my image, and in this image, I am wearing this kind of dress, a specific kind of dress, they will create it for you. So it means what I'm saying, we are utilizing all these important techniques not for only conversation, not for only responding your queries, also for generating, also for generating new content, new content. What are the new content? Like, like images, like images, video, audio, code, stories. Okay, all these things you see here. Again, I'm repeating, then I will dictate about this point. Generative artificial intelligence are those kind of advanced algorithms having the capability of large language model on the basis of artificial neural network, which can make pattern between the multiple huge set of data, and on the basis of that patterns, now machine can able to generate new content like images, audio, video, text, etc., stories and all. This we are calling generative artificial intelligence. Example I am giving. For example, Chat GPT. Chat GPT is not chatbot. Remember that. Chat GPT is the example of what? Chat GPT is the example of generative artificial intelligence, and the company name is what? OpenAI. Similarly, Gemini. Gemini is an example of what? Basically, generative artificial intelligence from the Google. Initially, it was Google Bard. Now they have renamed it after developing a little bit, after advancing this. Okay, Gemini. Then you have Copilot. Copilot from Microsoft, and also you are having multiple more. Meta AI, right? Meta AI. This. Apart from that, you have many more nowadays. Okay, these one are the famous one. You see here, most prominent one. So now you know in the prelims examination also, if they will ask Which one of the following is the example of chatbot? And three option they will give chat GPT, Gemini, and Copilot. Another option they will give Siri. Then which will be the accurate answer? Siri. Siri is the chat bot. It is not the generative AI. If you will give a command to the Siri, then try to create something new for me, new image for me. So she can't create. Okay. But if you will give command to the Apple Intelligence, yes, Apple Intelligence can do, because Apple Intelligence is not chatbot. That is the generative AI. Okay. So take break. After that, I will dictate this part. Okay. Write down generative artificial intelligence. Write down about this. Write down. It describes algorithms. It describes algorithms. It describes algorithms that can be used to create. That can be used to create. That can be used to create new content like audio, video, images, audio, video, images, code, text, simulations, etc., etc., by the use of by the use of by the use of large language models, large language models, large language models, large language models, and deep learning techniques, and deep learning techniques. Write down below that a subheading, large language model. Subheading, write down under that, large language model. Large language model. Write down about this, okay? Large language model. In short, we call it LLM. Okay. Write down. It is a type of AI algorithms. It is a type of AI algorithms. AI algorithms that uses deep learning techniques. That uses deep learning techniques. Deep learning techniques and massively large data sets. And massively large data sets. And massively large data sets to understand, understand, comma, summarize, comma, generate, and predict new content, and predict new content, and predict new content. After completing this, write down example of generative AI. Example of generative AI. Example of generative AI. And write down Chat GPT, OpenAI, Gemini, Google, Copilot, Microsoft, Meta AI, Meta. And here also you can also write Apple Intelligence, Apple. Okay. ChatGPT, OpenAI, Gemini, Google, Copilot, Microsoft, Meta AI. Meta is the name of company. Then Apple Intelligence, Apple. Okay. These are some of the prominent ones from where they can design question in the prelims examination as well. Okay. So remember, sometimes they ask question like that also. That Gemini is a generative AI launched by which organization? That is how they also ask the question. Okay. So name of company is also important. Remember that. Now, little bit information, more information I would like to give. Just you should know about this. If in case if suppose you see somewhere, then you can able to understand. Now I talked about the artificial neural network, right? In the chat GPT, in the chat GPT is what? Generative artificial intelligence. The GPT in the name chat GPT represents the LLM, large language model. So large language model, GPT. Okay, GPT is the large language model who supports generative artificial intelligence called chat GPT. So what is the full form of GPT? The full form is generative pre-trained transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer. And what is transformer indicating here? Transformer means two-port neural network here. Two-port neural network. Little bit more information, only little bit information specifically in terms of chat GPT I would like to give because it is one of the most prominent in the world. Okay. So maybe in the prelims, because in group B, even those kind of exam, they ask question about this. So in the prelims, yes, from the current affair part, they can ask. I have seen one paper of group B question paper, and they have asked the question from this large language model also. Okay. So remember that in chat GPT, GPT represents the large language model. What is the full name of GPT? Generative pre-trained transformer. Okay. Transformer. Okay. Transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer. Okay. Please write it now. Transformer, not transform, transformer. Okay. And what is this transformer indicates? Transformer is nothing but the two-port neural network. Okay. That is the two-port neural network. And what is the purpose of two-port neural network? To analyze large set of data. That is the whole objective of the neural network. Okay. So it means, again, I'm correcting the dots. Please try to listen carefully. Transformer here indicates two-port network. It means it is designed for analyzing huge set of data. Now, on the basis of that, this chat GPT will make patterns of the data. Okay, this large language model. Now, when a transformer in analyzing the data, all the data, and making the patterns out of that, okay. So now this LLM then will utilize the which one? Deep learning technique. So now this GPT analyze the data and now using the deep learning to generate new contents. That is how it works. Remember that. Okay? So that is all about the generative artificial intelligence. Very, very important topic for nowadays because right now we are using the generative artificial intelligence in our everyday life. Okay. And also you are seeing the negative news also regarding the generative AI like deep fake. That is also it become important for examination because any kind of news will be there regarding the generative AI and deep fake kind of situation. It will become important for examination definitely. Okay. Now after this, we'll talk about one more terminology that is the part of challenges actually, but that is a technical word. So just write on the definition of deep fake here. I will just mention only the deep fake part in the challenges. I will not define there. Okay. Definition and explanation I am giving right now. After that, we'll start application of AI. Write on deep fake. So what is deepfake? Deepfake is actually challenge of generative AI. It means it is it is creating ethical concerns of the use of AI. Okay. So now write down manipulation of, write down manipulation of audio, manipulation of audio, video, and images by using advanced generative AI, by using advanced generating AI in such a way, in such a way, in such a way, it's it's it seems realistic. It seems real, not it's. It seems realistic. Okay, it seems realistic. Full stop. Okay, so this technique is called what? Deepfake. Right now, nowadays you see sometime in the social media, Modi is singing sad song, sometime love song, sometime Modi and you know the chief minister of West Bengal, Mamta Banerjee, share same stage while dancing public show like that. Okay, so all these video they are manipulated one. Okay, so till this it's okay, but now the concern starts when anyone try to manipulate the image of any person and try to defame that person, maybe any industrialist, maybe any leader. That is one way. Second concern, nowadays you see the circulation of artificial intelligence manipulated child pornographic content. That is another concern. Circulation of child pornographic content. It means they are making such kind of videos which is not actually real, and they are using the face of some child, let's say. Okay, so that is the child porn circulation. Another thing, apart from that, on the image of any female and try to blackmail that female. If suppose any female is publishing any image in the social media platform, and now some person collected that image from the social media platform and now manipulated it. Okay, and now after manipulating, now trying to blackmail that female. Okay, so this kind of also online sexual abuse, sextorting we call it. Okay, blackmailing, this kind of situation also you are seeing continuously increasing. So these are the ethical concerns regarding the generative artificial intelligence, and that is due to the advanced technique called deepfake. Okay, so that is why in the last 1 year, each and every month, one article was published about the deepfake due to these reasons. Okay, recently in I think uh, one IIT student, he was trying to basically use the generative AI intelligence. You know, so he got the images of his classmate, the girl's classmate, and he manipulated all the images, approximately 33 to 34 images, and he actually manipulated the image, and the real image now he converted into the nude image of the female girls, the classmates, and someone found it. Okay, and then police and then complaint and everything, FIR. So this kind of situation is happening nowadays, a very scary situation right now. Okay, so this one is another important point I would like to make from here also, because if they will ask concern or challenges kind of question, yes, they can ask the question from the deepfake also. So the technique I have explained, the concerns about this will talk in the challenges. Okay, so write on application of artificial intelligence. Next topic, application of AI. The technical information I have given to you now is any of the technical information they will ask. Now you have enough knowledge to give answer in the prelims or mains. Okay, remember that. Now we'll talk about the general aspect of the AI. Application write down. First application write down, healthcare. First application, healthcare. Healthcare write down. Okay, and write down in that first, under the healthcare, first point, diagnosis and treatment. Diagnosis and treatment. Diagnosis and treatment. Diagnosis and treatment. So when we say diagnosis and treatment, so I am talking about the personal treatment. For example, I am giving one example. Let's say the treatment of cancer in India and USA. Let's compare it. When you go to the USA for getting the treatment of the cancer, so they have a set of rules. Treat the patient. Remember that. And their the apex body of the USA, the medical body of the USA, has designed certain steps while treating the cancer. Now, any person from any part of the world, when that person will go to the USA, they will not change the procedure of the treatment. Remember that, irrespective of the ethnicity, irrespective of the culture, or irrespective of the location of that people. Remember that they will follow that procedure for all the peoples from anywhere part of the world. Remember that. But when we talk about the India, India is having very flexible, treatment methods. For example, first they will check the body parameters and everything, and if any personalized treatment is required, they will change the treatment method. This kind of flexibility is there in the India, and that is why India is one of the most prominent nation in terms of giving medical visas. Remember that, because the first thing is that the cost of treatment is very cheap here and very effective. Apart from that, what you will find, the personalized treatment, personalized medical diagnosis, like that. Okay, so that is the difference between this. Now, if suppose we want to promote the personalized treatment based on the body, based on the body parameter, based on your body. Okay, so artificial intelligence can work in that manner. Actively remember that, because suppose there is a artificial intelligence based model. Okay, now you are giving all the data of your history. It means past parameters of your body, uploading to the artificial intelligence. Now, this is going to analyze the all data, and all the basis of the data, that AI will give you the personalized treatment plan. So that is what the meaning here. Okay. So write down. Next. Under this, write down. Write down. AI used to analyze. AI is used to analyze. AI is used to analyze medical data, medical data, medical data, comma, assist in disease diagnosis, assist in disease diagnosis, and recommend personalized treatment plans. Personalized, personalized, personalized treatment plans. Plans. Okay, plans. Now, after completing this, one more point write down in below the healthcare itself. Write down drug discovery. Drug discovery. DRUG. Drug discovery. Write down. AI accelerates the drug discovery process. AI accelerates the drug discovery process. AI accelerates the drug discovery process by analyzing biological data. By analyzing biological data. Second application, write down. Second application, finance. Finance, write down. Second application, finance. Write down. Algorithm trading and fraud detection. Below that, write down. First point, algorithm trading. And the second one, write down, fraud detection. Below that, write down. Second one, fraud detection. Okay. So basically, you know, on the basis of historical data, if you are a trader, on the basis of historical data, AI can give you the predictions of the future move. That is what the algorithm trading is all about. When we talk about the fraud detection in all kind of financial mechanism, if any kind of anomalies AI will find in the uh, communication of the data between the banks, let's say, or between the transaction all the transaction is happening between the banks. If any kind of transaction is vulnerable, let's say due to some hacker, so AI can able to identify those kind of anomalies in the network and can able to detect the fraud and also can prevent it. Okay, that is what the application here. Now after this, write down third one. Third application write down is autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles. Write down self self-driving cars. Self-driving cars is based on AI algorithms. Is based on AI algorithms which enable vehicles to perceive. Which enable vehicles to perceive their environment. Vehicles to perceive their environment. Comma, make decisions. Make decisions. Perceive environment. Comma, make decisions and navigate without human intervention. And navigate without human intervention. One more point write down in this same. AI optimized AI optimized traffic management. AI optimized traffic management. Okay. Now after this write down manufacturing industry. Next application, manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industry. Write down AI model helps. AI model helps in in predictive maintenance of machinery, predictive maintenance of machinery, and also control quality. Predictive maintenance of machinery and also control quality of products. Quality of products in real time. Also control quality of product in real time. Okay. Next write down cyber security. Next write down cyber security. Write down AI identifies the AI identifies and respond. AI identifies and responds to cyber security threats. To cyber security threats by analyzing patterns. By analyzing patterns in network traffic. In network traffic. By analyzing data patterns in network traffic. Write down one more customer service. Customer service. Write down AI powered chatbots and virtual assistants. AI powered chatbots and virtual assistants. Virtual assistants handle customer inquiries. Handle customer inquiries. Customer inquiries and providing instant responses. And providing instant responses. Instant responses. Okay. So that is about the this sector. And the last one more sector, because spread question they can ask, agriculture. Nowadays we are using in agriculture also. So write down agriculture. Agriculture sector. So write down the first one is the pest management. Pest management. Okay. Second, write down soil health, soil health checkups and improvement, checkups and improvement plans by AI models, by AI models. Next, write down AI based smart farming systems, AI based smart farming systems, AI based smart farming systems for precision farming, for precision farming, PRECISION, precision farming, precision farming. Okay. Now, after completing this, write down completed. Okay, this application part completed. Initiatives. Initiative write down. Then I will write about the challenges. Initiatives. First, write down India AI mission. India AI mission. India AI mission. In front of that, write down a comprehensive national level program. A comprehensive national level program. A comprehensive national level program to democratize a comprehensive national level program to democratize and catalyze CATALIZE catalyze the AI innovation, catalyze the AI innovation ecosystem, AI innovation ecosystem through public private partnership, through public private partnership. Second initiative, write down after this public private partnership. Okay, and then second initiative, national AI portal, national AI portal. In bracket, write down INDIA, India AI, right, like this, India AI. In front of that, write down a joint venture by, a joint venture by, a joint venture by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, joint venture by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and Information Technology, comma, National E-Governance Division, National E-Governance Division, National E-Governance Division, and NASSCOM, NASSCOM in capitals write down, NASSCOM, NASSCOM. Okay. Third, write down AI research analytics, AI research analytics, AI research analytics and knowledge dissemination platform, knowledge dissemination platform. Dissemination means spreading the information. Okay. Dissemination, DISSEMINATION, knowledge dissemination platform. Okay. In short, we are calling it Erawat. It is not supercomputer. Remember that. Okay. Erawat, write down. In short, we are calling it Erawat. This platform is called Erawat. Okay. Now, write down provides a common computer platform, provides a common computer platform for AI research, for AI research. Next, write on Bharat Gen program. Bharat Gen, capitals G. Sorry, Gen program. Okay, Bharat Gen program. In front of that, write on Bharat Gen, Gen. Gen means generative. Okay, write on focused on creating generative AI systems. Creating Focused on creating generative AI systems in various Indian language. In various Indian language. Focused on creating generative AI systems in various Indian languages. Various Indian languages. Okay. And the last one more, write on National AI Skilling Program. National AI Skilling Program. Skilling Program. SKILLING. Skilling Program. Okay. One question, write down. You need to write the answer for that. Okay. Because in the application, I have not given you that part because I'm giving you a homework for that. Okay. So write, write down the application of, write down the application of, write down application of AI, AI in governance, in governance. Okay. So you have to write the application in the governance. And second important point, initiative also you have mentioned. Okay. Remember that. So this is your homework. Go home, try to search about this, and then write down in your own words. Don't copy paste. First, try to search about this. Okay. Try to collect the data, and after collecting the data, try to arrange those information in your own words. I am not saying don't see the data. Without that, you can't write that. Okay. So first, try to find some article, some government PIB news about the AI governance. Okay. Search about the AI governance in India. Okay. Then you will find some data definitely. Some official data also you will find. And on the basis of the, try to read those data and then try to arrange your answer. Okay. So that, because mains is all about the writing skill, remember that. Only the knowledge if you are having, but you are not having good writing skill, no use of those knowledge, remember that, in the mains examination. The mains exam is all about the representation of good content, remember that, in the paper. Okay. So first you need to have a good content, obviously. Knowledge is required. Without understanding and knowledge and data, you can't able to write the proper answer. The first process is to collect the knowledge, collect the data, facts and figure, and then try to represent those ideas in written format. Okay. So that is what the main requirement. Two things only required for clearing the mains. A good quality of data, content, and the second is representation. How you are representing your ideas there. Okay. So that is how you will get the good marks. Now after this, write down challenges regarding the AI. Challenges, write down. Challenges. First, write down data privacy and security. Data privacy and security. Data privacy and security. Write down in this. AI systems rely heavily on large data sets. AI systems rely AI systems rely heavily on large data sets, comma, often containing sensitive personal information. Often containing sensitive personal information. Sensitive personal information. Now, I am giving you one information. What that Ghibli art you call it, okay? You know that trend of Ghibli art, creating Ghibli art, okay? So Anyone created that art by uploading your picture? So most of you, I'm supposing that you have created those kind of art while uploading the picture also. First you will upload the picture and then give command, create the Ghibli art or Ghibli art, then ChatGPT will do it for you. Okay, now all your data now become part of the ChatGPT data set. Yes, billions of people have created this. Now ChatGPT got all the data free. Now what will happen? If someone try to create pornographic content by using the same ChatGPT, let's say, okay, then what will happen? From where ChatGPT is going to image the face? From where? All the faces the ChatGPT is having from the past. The ChatGPT is going to manipulate those faces and try to create the new face. But sometimes what happens? The generative face resembles the original face sometimes. And that is how the pornography content circulates. Privacy and security breach. Okay? You are not in that particular kind of image or content people are circulating in real life. But that image or content resembles your physical appearance. Okay, that is the problem right now. So this kind of situation arising. Okay. Second, write down ethical issues. Ethical concern you can write. Ethical concern. Ethical concern. In ethical concern, you can write deep fake, deep fake, deep fake technique. Deep fake techniques can be used, can be used for child pornographic content circulation. Child pornographic content circulation. Child pornographic content circulation. Okay, comma, to defame, to defame any, to defame any person or or for blackmailing, for blackmailing any female, any female. Okay, full stop. Next, write down in this same ethical concern also, second point now. Okay. In the same point, write down biased AI models, biased BIASED, biased AI models can make decisions, can make decisions that unfairly target, that unfairly target or exclude certain groups. Biased AI models can make decisions that unfairly target or exclude certain groups. Third, lack of transparency, write down. Not third point, so separate challenge. Okay, ethical concern completed. Now the third challenge, write down lack of transparency. Lack of transparency. Write down in this internal workings of AI based model. Internal workings of AI based model AI based model are not known by users. Internal workings of AI based model are not known by users. Next, infringing intellectual property rights. Infringing, INFRINGING, infringing. Fourth one, na? infringing, infringing, infringing intellectual property rights, IPR, intellectual property rights, IP rights. Okay, write down in this, under this point, write down. Many artists have claimed, many artists, many artists have claimed that, have claimed that their artworks were recreated by AI. Their artwork were recreated by AI. Recreated by AI. And the last one, write down after this, the last challenge, accountability. Accountability. Write down in that. For instance, for instance, who will be held liable? For instance, who will be held liable, liable, liable in case of accident, in case of accident of a self-driving car? In case of accident of a self-driving car. So accountability, lack of accountability, okay, of AI model. So that is another issue. So these are the important points you have to remember, okay. Initiatives completed, challenges completed. That's all about the AI part. Now write down the next topic, robotics. Robotics, write down. Next topic. Write down definition. Now robotics is a, robotics is a, robotics is a multidisciplinary field. Robotics is a multidisciplinary field that involves, that involves the design, that involves the design, construction, construction, operation, and use of robots, and use of robots, use of robots. Now write down the definition of robot. Now robot, write down, write down. A robot is a programmable, a robot is a programmable, programmable mechanical or virtual device, programmable mechanical or virtual device designed to perform, designed to perform, designed to perform task, task autonomously or semi-autonomously, autonomously, autonomously or semi-autonomously, semi-autonomously. Okay. Now write on next point. India ranks 7th. India ranks 7th, 7th in annual robot installations worldwide. India ranks 7th, 7 th, 7 ranking, okay, 7th in annual robot installations worldwide. Annual robot installations worldwide. Okay. Now after this, write down classification of robot. Classification of robot. Classification of robot. So first classification is based on motion. Based on motion. First classification is based on motion. Okay. Based on motion. Under that we have two types of robots. The first one is the static robot. Static, or otherwise you call it stationary robot. Okay. Static or stationary. And the second one is mobile or dynamic robot. So both word we use, static or stationary, dynamic or mobile. Okay. So the robot which can move from one location to another, we call it dynamic or mobile robot. The robot which can not move, stays in a particular location, we call it what? Static robot. Now next item, based on control. Based on control, write down. So three kinds of robot we'll talk about. Okay. First write down automatic robot. After that write down semi autonomous robot. Semi autonomous robot. Automatic means autonomous robot. Okay. Automatic, or otherwise we can write autonomous. Okay. Then manual controlled robot. Manual control robot. Okay. Sometime in some text you see fully controlled like this. Fully controlled. Okay. Controlled. And then you will see semi controlled. And you will see fully automated. Automated. Now only these three classifications. Automatic or autonomous robot, it means fully automated robot. Programmed. Completely based on the program. No human interference is required. When we say semi-autonomous, it means semi-controlled. Half by programming, half manual control. Okay. Then we have manually controlled robot. We are calling it fully controlled robot. Sometimes this kind of terminology also used. Okay. Now after this item, based on third classification, based on application, write down. Based on application. Okay. Based on application. Write down one by one. First write down. First defense robot. First defense robot. Defense robot. Defense robot. In the defense robot, you can write UAV and UGV. Example, UGV. UAV and UGV. UAV means unmanned aerial vehicle. UGV means unmanned ground vehicle. When we say unmanned aerial vehicle, it is also called drone. UAV is nothing but drone. Okay. Unmanned aerial vehicle. When we say UGV, so ground vehicle, but without human. Okay. Remember that. Now after that, write down space robot. Space robot. Space robot. So when we say space robot, you can write here rover. Rover. Okay. Rover is the example of what? ROVER. Example of space robot. Okay. Next write down domestic robot. Domestic robot. Okay. Like cleaning robot, security robot, right? This kind of robot. Next write down industrial robot. Industrial robot. Another one write down medical robot. Many more applications are there, etc. Let's write down. You name the application, you will find robot. Okay. Now after writing the classification, now let's talk about the application part. Application is important. Applications of robotics right now. All of wait. Only one part you have to write. Humanoid robot. That's it. This is another classification. Okay, humanoid robot. Only one classification. Extra humanoid robot. Okay, so this kind of robot is designed to look like human. Okay, so if you want to write, you can write. Otherwise, no need. Designed to look like human. Look like human. Okay, designed to look like human. Completed this classification, right? Write on application. Application write on. First application, industry. Industry write down. Industry. And in the industry write down. Now you have to write some points. Example, you have to write car assembly unit. Write down. Example, write down car assembly unit. Car assembly unit. Second example, cutting and welding. Cutting and welding. Cutting means metal cutting, okay, and joining the metal. Cutting and welding. 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 Then next one, another example, write down bottling and packaging. bottling. Bottling and packaging. Bottling. bottling. Bottling and packaging. Also labeling. Label also they apply. Okay. So you can write that. So these are some of the examples I have given to you. Okay. From the industry. Now after this, write down next one. Hazardous occupation. Another application. Hazardous occupation. Hazardous occupation. Hazardous occupation. Okay. Now under this, write down. Under this, study of crater. Study of craters or volcanoes, we can write. Crater or volcano. Crater. Crater or volcanoes. Okay. Comma. Deep sea exploration. Deep sea exploration. Comma. Nuclear waste handling. Nuclear waste handling. Nuclear waste handling, etc. Okay, so those kind of application where human life is at risk. So in that application, we can basically utilize robots for that. Okay. Next application, write down space. Space application. Space application. Okay. So write down use of robo astronaut. Use of robo astronaut. Robo astronauts for performing simulation in space. For performing simulation and in space. Simulation in space. Okay. Right. And one more thing, write down. It's for space exploration. Under that only. Okay. For space exploration. For space exploration. Example, write down. Example, write down. Vyom Mitra. Vyom Mitra. A half female humanoid robot for Gaganyaan mission. A half female humanoid robot for Gaganyaan mission. Okay. Because the Gaganyaan mission will be launched. Okay, in the future. So that is why this will be in the news. This robot, remember that half female, half female humanoid robot designed by the ISRO. Okay, we'll talk about this in space technology. Now, after this, write down next one, next application. Defense, write down. Defense application. Defense application, write down. Okay. And under the defense application, write down use of robotic soldier. Use of robotic soldier. Robotic soldier. Okay. In warfare. In warfare. Okay. Next, use of drones. Use of drones for collecting sensitive information. Sensitive information. Okay. For example, we have Rustam drone. We have Rustam drone. Okay. Similarly, we have another drone called not drone actually, another robot in defense. So after writing example of Rustam drone, then one more point I write down. Write down Daksh. Under that defense only, okay? Defense only you have to write Daksh. Dakshha. Daksh. Daksh is designed and developed by DRDO. Defense Research Development Organization, we call it. Daksh is designed and developed by DRDO for neutralizing improvised explosive devices, IEDs. Neutralizing improvised explosive devices, IEDs in short we call it. Daksh is designed and developed by DRDO for neutralizing improvised explosive devices. Improvised explosive devices. Okay. So Daksh is what? Daksh is nothing but UGV, sorry. Unmanned ground vehicle. I have given you the example right here. You can see in the defense when I was discussing UAV and UGV. So I am giving the name of those. Okay. Here. So this Rustam is what? Drone. It means this is UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. When I'm saying Daksh, this is unmanned ground vehicle. Okay. Remotely operated. Something we also call it these devices what? ROV we use. Remotely operated vehicle also you call it. Okay. So that is the thing. Now, after this write down, next one, healthcare sector. Healthcare sector. Another application write down healthcare. And write down robotic surgery. Use of robotic surgery. Use of robotic surgery. Okay. So what is the benefit of robotic surgery? Precise cutting, less blood loss, and faster recovery. That are the benefit of what? Robotic surgery, right? So if robot will cut and if human will cut, so which one will precise cut? The body part. Obviously the robot. So precise cutting means low blood loss. It means faster recovery. Okay. So that is the benefit. Write down example here. India's indigenous surgical robot system. India apostrophe S. Example write down. India's indigenous surgical robotic system. Indigenous surgical robotic system. Surgical robotic system. SSI mantra. The name of the system is SSI mantra. MANTRA. This is the name of system. Okay. Now write down education after that. Next field, education. Next application, field, education. Write down in that write down manav. 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 Manav put a dash and write down India's first 3D printed humanoid robot. India's first 3D printed humanoid robot. Humanoid robot. Humanoid robot for educational purpose. For educational purpose. Second example, write down Kerala's first robotic robot teacher. Kerala's first Keral. Okay. Kerala's first robotic teacher. Robotic teacher is named Iris. ARIS. Remember this. These are the important news. Okay. The last year news. Iris. So this is the Iris is actually AI powered robot, and this is the robotic teacher teaching in the class actually in one school. Okay. This is kind of development you are seeing in the uh, school also. Okay. And there is one project called Atal Tinkering Lab. So in Atal Tinkering Lab, they have developed the Iris, and now she is this is the female humanoid robot. Okay, teacher. She is teaching the student in one of the government school in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Okay. Now after that, write down uh, healthcare completed, space completed, different domestic uses. Domestic use, write down. Domestic application. Domestic application. In the domestic, you can write for cleaning, security, security, cleaning, security, and providing personal assistance to senior citizens. To senior citizens. And the last field, write down agriculture. Agriculture, write down now. With example, I will give. Okay. Write down tartan, TARTAN. Tartan sense, SENSE. Tartan sense. One another name is that bridge boat also we call it. Bridge, BRIJBOT. Bridge boat. Okay. Tartan sense. In front of that, write down for precision spraying. For precision, the name of robot. Okay. For precision spraying, comma, weed detection, WEED, weed detection, and crop monitoring. And crop monitoring. Okay. That's all about the application. But nowadays, other applications are also there. For example, in the healthcare, I told you only the robotic surgery. Nowadays, to solve the mental issues, mental problem, the psychotherapists, they are also using the psychiatrists, they are also using the robots. Okay, for treatment of the person who is facing any kind of depression or anxiety issue. Okay, and even if you are alone, you can buy your own robot, a robotic partner nowadays. So these are the situation right now. Okay, so now after this, write down initiatives taken. Initiatives, write down. I will complete the topic. After that, I will leave. Okay. So initiatives, write down. Okay. First, write down artificial intelligence and robotic technology. Artificial intelligence and robotic technology park. Robotic technology park. In short, we are calling it art park. ARTPARK. Art park. Okay. Art park in IISC Bangalore. in IISC, Bangalore, Indian Institute of Science. ISC Bangalore, okay? Bangalore, we call it, okay? Next slide on. Second, Center for Advanced Manufacturing of. Center for Advanced Manufacturing. Advanced Manufacturing for Robotics. For Robotics and Autonomous Systems. And Autonomous Systems. Third, write down iHub. I-HUB. iHub. iHub for Robotics and Autonomous Systems. iHub for Robotics and Autonomous Systems. And the last one, write down Draft National Strategy on Robotics. DRAFT. Draft National Strategy on Robotics 2023. Now the last point, write down challenges. Last heading challenges. Okay, right on the first challenge. High cost. First challenge is high cost. Okay. Second, write down absence of separate robotics legislation. Absence of separate robotics legislation. Legislation. Next, write down low research and development. Low research and development. Write down in front of that India lags behind. India lags behind countries like Japan. Countries like Japan, USA, and South Korea in patents. Patents. In patents. Okay. Next, write down limited access to design. Next, write down limited access to design, prototyping, 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 and testing facilities. And testing facilities. And the last one, write down issues like issues like job displacement, data security, issues like job displacement, data security, and potential misuse of robots. And potential misuse of robots. Okay. Robotics is not completed still. I will provide some more information regarding the robot, but general aspects completed. Some current news, current affair need to be completed. So tomorrow we'll start from the robotics only, the latest current affair, and then we'll enter into the another chapter, maybe space or maybe biotechnology will start off. Thank you.